just realized I was not actually part of the stream. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy day before Thanksgiving, where everyone knows that you actually have to stop work early because you got to go start doing some cooking. And I got to make a brine for a turkey because I'm brining my turkey with molasses and soy sauce and honey. And so I have to make the brine later so the brine can cool down so I can stick the turkey in it overnight. Of course, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of delicious, delicious salt. When you're doing a brine, you basically get that big thing of the blue salt and you just dump the whole thing in and it is, oh my god, it makes the turkey so good because when you put a turkey in a bath of salt water with all sorts of other things, the salt pushes all of the moisture into the turkey and then it locks in and it makes the turkey so moist. No, I have not done apple cider before, but that sounds fantastic. Anyway, that's what I'm doing tomorrow, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. And I just want to, first off, yes, exactly, Deborah, the whole box, not a cup, the whole box of salt goes in the brine. Absolutely. Guys, happy day before Thanksgiving. Thank you for spending some time with me today. We are going to be doing a school investigation stream today because just the other day, and this is available on my Substack. Let me pop the Substack link into the chat on YouTube anyway. The other day, one of my spies, as you know, I have spies everywhere. Everywhere. And they like to send me things. And the other day, one of my spies who happens to have access to things that 10th graders in the Fairfax County schools have access to, one of my spies sent me the social emotional learning survey that the Fairfax County schools in Virginia just distributed to the 10th graders this week. And actually, I found out since then it was distributed a couple weeks ago in different schools. My particular spy just got access to it the other day and then contacted me and said, Carlin, you might want to see the crazy survey that the Fairfax County schools are having students there do. And I said, by all means, I do want to see the crazy survey. And this person was talking about actually going through and taking screenshots. And I do actually have some screenshots of students taking the actual survey. But instead, what they ended up finding is they actually found the whole instrument. And this says sample on it. So this is the survey instrument. But these are all of the questions. You can see here on the side, I'm scrolling, 15 pages of questions that the Fairfax County schools are having students fill out and respond to. And some of these questions are actually kind of shocking. I was really blown away at the things that the Fairfax County schools were asking their students. And so I wrote about it on my Substack, Carlin, KARLYN.substack.com. This is my main Substack where I post all of the actively unwoke stuff. And you can actually go and just look at it for yourself. And I strongly recommend everyone does. I printed in this Substack, and we're going to go through some of this survey together. We're going to do a little bit of this as a group activity. But I actually posted some of what I think are the most alarming questions in the survey. And then right in the Substack itself, I've got a link so you can see this is on. If you look in the bar up here, this is on the Fairfax County Schools public website right now. So there's no doubt of where this came from. But just in case something happens and the Fairfax County schools take down the survey, I also have the PDF file linked in the article itself, and so you'll always have access to that. So today, what we're gonna do is I want to talk about this survey. I want to talk about some of the questions in it. I want to talk about how I believe the Fairfax County schools are using this information in order to, quite frankly, stage psychological interventions with students, and also potentially even use it against parents who are maybe being a little bit too problematic. I want to talk about the survey, but then if we have time, I want to actually start an investigation of the Fairfax County schools. Now, if you've never seen one of my school investigation streams before, these are a little tricky because what I am doing is a live and unprepared investigation looking at the documents that these public schools have out in the public already to try to suss out what they're actually teaching and how much nonsense is integrated into their curriculum that really shouldn't be there. Sometimes these streams can be long. Sometimes it is really not uncommon for these to be like multi day things that we have to look into many things. We have to read documents. We have to watch videos. We have to go through a lot of boring stuff. We have to find their policy manuals. It can sometimes be a lot. But honestly, in pretty much every school investigation stream that we've done so far, we have uncovered material that is quite frankly a little bit shocking. And so if you want to see some of the previous streams that we've done, I actually have a whole playlist on the channel. I've done live investigation streams of the schools in Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Chicago, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Austin, Texas, San Francisco, Rochester, New York, which actually turned out to be really amazing because the Rochester schools are actually doing it correctly, which was quite frankly really shocking to me. Anyway, I've done school investigation streams all over the place. You can catch up and watch some of them, but we're going to probably start to go through the process today. Now, I am anticipating that if we start digging into the Fairfax County Public Schools, this is like a multi-day event. This is not going to be just a one-day stream. And so I just want to manage expectations right off the bat that I think there's probably a lot to go through in the Fairfax County schools. And the reason I say that is I did just a little, and I did this very quickly, literally right before we went live. People who watch my investigation streams know the very first thing I do on any school district website is I do a search for equity on the website, because what I want to do is find their equity office or whatever they're labeling their equity office as quickly as possible. And do you know what I found in the Fairfax County Public Schools? The schools that Glenn Youngkin was supposed to have, well, saved in his governorship. I already found that they have a chief equity officer in the Fairfax County Public Schools. So I have questions about what this chief equity officer does. We've also found that they actually have a whole office of professional learning and equity, which means that they have someone literally in charge of training the teachers and probably the administrative personnel as well in the Fairfax County Public Schools to do equity in the classroom. And that took about 2 minutes for me to find on their website. These are two places where I would want to do deep dives into what these offices actually have on their websites, and what can we not just find out from their website. Can we go on their social media and find stuff out? Can we go on their YouTube channel and find stuff? I'm actually interested. Is like, let me just look real quick. Oh, look, right in the bottom here. Isn't it nice for them to put all of their social media right in the bottom? And oh, look, they've got a YouTube channel. Let's see what's on that YouTube channel real quick. Let's just do real quick. We're doing, oh, they 13,000 subscribers. Holy shit. I wonder, go to the search on their YouTube, equity. Oh, look at this. Teachers discuss equity in digital citizens. Fairfax County Public School Board work equity. They have a whole equity plan as early as 2018. I didn't mean to click on that. So we know that the Fairfax County Schools has equity plans that we need to find, and they've been doing this for a really long time, which is probably why they're screwed up. We've got all sorts of, oh, look, as July 12th, 2022, they've got a whole equity education section in their school board meeting. So what we would want to do is actually watch that school board meeting, watch and see what they're talking about. Guys, I cannot tell you this enough. The public schools are doing this entirely out in the open. They're not hiding it at all. The problem is that no one is watching. No one is watching. No one is reading the documents. They're burying this stuff on their website like 17 layers deep, hoping that no one ever looks for it. All right. And so this is what we do on school investigation streams. We dig and we start looking at their documents and we start reading them. And sometimes it's boring, but we always end up uncovering stuff that is a little concerning by the very end of it. And so we're going to get started on that today. However, we might have a wrench thrown into the works. And I'm going to ask all of you in the chat to help me out because I heard a rumor, and some of you may be able to confirm this rumor or deny this rumor. I heard a rumor that we might be expecting at 6:30 tonight a stream in which Adam is finally going to tell his side of the story. And apparently, what I was told is that Adam said if he's going to tell his story tonight, it was going to be very obvious from when he posts the live stream on his channel that it was going to be like a tell all live stream. And so, listen, man, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. It's the holidays. School investigation streams take multi days anyway. If during the course of this stream, we find out that Adam really is doing his tell all today, I'm going to do a watch party. We're going to do Adam Krigler tells all watch party. Now, what I would do is I would stop this stream, I would start another stream, and we would do a meta reaction, which content creators always love when I do this. I don't know why they wouldn't. Basically, a meta reaction stream is when I am streaming something that is happening live in real time. So Adam can say whatever he wants, and I'm just going to stream his stream, and we're going to watch, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to do commentary on it. And I've got it all set up and ready to go just in case it happens. If it doesn't happen, that's fine too. But if it does, these opportunities don't come around every day, and so we need to be on the ready. We need to be flexible. And I know that many of you in the chat are saying that Adam said that like last night he was going to do this tonight. And if he does, I need people to alert me because I can only do so many. I can only do 15 or 20 things at once. And I need people in the chat to keep an eye on this and let me know if Adam launches, like puts up that stream and it looks like it's going to be a tell all, because then I'll know that, okay, we got to shift gears, hit pause, and we can go and have our dessert with a meta reaction stream. So guys, that is what we have on the docket today. It's a little bit haphazard, but we got to keep things flexible. Now, if you appreciate that, please go ahead and mount that like button for me. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you feel so inclined, there are ways that you can support the work I'm doing. Actually, let's talk about this one first. So what we're doing on the school's investigation streams is this is actually in support of a training program I'm currently building and is still available to support and contribute to and even sign up for if you want to. I'm going to train 10,000 parents how to find out what the schools are teaching using publicly available information, exactly what we're doing today, except I'm building an online training program to teach parents how to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to define everything. I'm going to really walk people through it. On these Schools Exposed streams, I have to go rather quickly. And so I know where I'm going and what I'm looking for. I'm not breaking down every single step, and some people need that. Not everyone does. You could very easily watch one of these schools investigation streams or several of them and get a sense for what I'm doing and do this in your own school district. And I would firmly recommend that you do. But a lot of people need more help than that. And especially when we're talking about normie parents, they really need more help to understand what the language is, where to look for stuff, what all this stuff means. And that is what I am building out right now. I was very fortunate to be able to fund this through a crowdfunding campaign where people donated over $16,000 for me to build out this program. And they also have the opportunity to sign up and be some of the first people in the program, which you can still actually get access to that. You can get access to the early bird sign up to get into the program yourself when it launches in January, which is the timeline that I am on. You can get autographed copies of my book. You can buy scholarships for other people. You can get private training with me. You can even get a hand knit shawl if you want to. All of this is still available on the Indiegogo campaign. You can find it in the description below. As I said, this is already funded. and it's already fine. Indiegogo didn't cancel it or anything. And you can see that right now it is on in-demand funding, which basically means it's going to stay up and you can still contribute and support the work I'm trying to do and get access for yourself or your friends and family to help them out as well. The program will launch in January. I'm working on building it right now. And these school investigation streams are part of my research process to make sure that I'm really giving parents the most up-to-date information that I possibly can. So all of that is in the description below. And let me just put up a little snazzy banner to tell you where you can find that as well. Also, if you want to support my work in other ways, you can become a monthly donor on Patreon or Locals. Patreon anywhere from $5 a month all the way up to $250 a month, depending on how much you like me on any given day or what sweet perks you want. If you don't want to go on Patreon, that's totally cool, man. You can join my locals community, $5 a month, $50 a year. You can also make a one-time gift through there. All of that allows me the freedom to be able to continue this work, to be able to do the work I'm doing offline in terms of helping parents, answering lots of emails and questions, and generally trying to teach everyone as much as I can about the woke ideology. I really think that, the role I'm trying to play in this battle is I want to download all of the knowledge that I have from being really heavily immersed in this stuff every single day for the past 3+ years. And I've learned a lot. And I'm making it my mission to teach as many people as I can what I have learned. I'm not the only teacher in this game. There are wonderful people teaching in this game, but I do think that the way that I'm teaching has a really unique perspective. I think it's allowing people who would otherwise not understand this stuff to get a handle on what's going on. I think it's really important. And so when you're contributing for my Patreon, my locals, or even having a subscription on one of my Substacks, you are allowing me to continue this work. And I really, really do appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you. All right, guys, let's jump in and let's look at this survey that I got from Fairfax County schools. Now, this is what you're going to look this is what you're going to see when it comes to social emotional learning. And the best way to think of social emotional learning is it is teachers practicing psychology without a license. What they're trying to do is to get into the heads of your kids to basically um they're trying to get them integrated into this woke ideology really, 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 really young, and they play all sorts of tricks to be able to indoctrinate, and yes, I really do mean the word indoctrinate, kids into this ideology at a really early age by playing on their emotions and how the brain works. And it's honestly really, really devious. It's actually much worse than critical race theory. I think James Lindsay actually James Lindsay did a workshop recently where he talked about this. I think we might all watch that together at some point. And by the way, congratulations to James Lindsay for getting back on Twitter. I think that's awesome. But I also want to say, if you have not yet seen James Lindsay's workshops, go and watch them because he is incredible in the way that he is teaching this information and explaining these concepts. The difference between me and James Lindsay is that James Lindsay tends to focus more on the academic foundation for this stuff, where these ideas come from, the origin story of these ideas, and I think it's amazing and important. I tend to focus more on the highly practical reality of how are these ideas being implemented and how are they actually impacting people. So we might watch that James Lindsay thing at some point. I think it would be a really good use of our time if we did. He is a wonderful, wonderful teacher. There's no one better in the game than him. Yes, he is an absolute genius. But so when we're looking at stuff like this, here are things that I'm concerned about when I'm seeing surveys like this. And by surveys like this, I basically mean surveys that are asking your kids a whole bunch of invasive questions about their drug use, about their sex life, about their parents, about them sexually harassing people, them bullying people. I have a lot of questions about why a school district needs to ask 173 questions that are probing every single aspect of the private lives of students in the 8th, the 10th, and the 12th grade. And what we always need to remember about this is that public schools are the government. Public schools are the state. They are agents of the state. They are not on your team. There is no godly reason why the government needs to know this information about your kids. I really think that people do not make the connection. Anything that happens in the public schools is coming from the state. Every single thing that goes on in the public schools is coming from the government, guys. How much information do you think the government is entitled to about you? They're trying to do this with kids because they know that kids are not going to question it. And yes, Brian, you're right about this. I did hear they do have one for the 6th grade. I haven't seen a copy of it yet. I asked for people to email it to me. And if you have a copy of it, please email it to me at activelyunwoke at gmail.com. I would love to see it, but I did hear about the one for the 6th grade as well. Connie says, I used to be a correctional officer. We could do anything because no one cares about inmates, but it's becoming that way in the schools. Teachers can do anything, practice anything, and it's unchecked. Now, here's where I really, really worry about the output of these surveys. There are so many devious things that the school districts can do with them. Number one, the schools will always tell you that these surveys are anonymous. I don't believe that for one red second. In almost every single Bot, you found it? Look, my investigative team is amazing. Bot found the one for 6th grade. Thank you, Bot. I'll pull that one up. And again, it's right on the Fairfax County School website. Holy shit, Bot. Hang on, let me show you guys this. I haven't even looked at this yet. Bing! 6th grade. This is why Bot is the chief investigative officer of the Unwoke Army. Because she can find like any document anywhere. Yeah, so we've already got the 6th grade one as well. Maybe we'll take a live look at this one. But what I really worry about, there are several things that I worry about with these surveys. Number one, there is not a stone's chance in hell. And I don't even know if that analogy made any sense. So I'm going to try again. There are several things that I worry about in regards to these surveys. There is not a snowball's chance in hell. There's my analogy that these surveys are actually anonymous. I don't believe for one red second that these surveys are actually anonymous because survey instruments allow you to track, even if the person taking the survey doesn't know about it, they allow you to track like identifying codes that you can link back to like this identifying code is linked to this student's email address, and here are all the answers that the student has. All of this information, unless we have absolute proof that they are not being recorded, you always need to assume that these surveys are going into a file somewhere and that they are linked to your kid's name. Never assume that the schools are telling the truth when they say this stuff is anonymous, because they're asking for this information for a reason. It's not just because they're trying to identify trends. It's not just out of the goodness of their hearts. They are identifying it for a reason. Okay? So that's number one. So why would they be identifying it? There are several reasons. Maybe they want to stage psychological interventions with students that they consider to be problems, and they may or may not tell the parents about those psychological interventions. So, a lot of schools right now will actually have counselors on staff that will call your kids out of class, take them into a room, shut the door, and talk to them without ever informing you of what they are doing. They are practicing psychology on your kids without a license to do so. And school counselors, people who go through school psychology programs, they're not clinicians, guys. They're not clinicians. They're like me. So I'm a psychologist, but I'm not a clinical psychologist. I'm an organizational psychologist. I do interventions in businesses to help them understand how to increase their employees' morale or how to understand different communication styles or things like that. I am not a clinician. I shouldn't be counseling anyone. But school psychologists ignore this stuff all the time. And if they are going into a closed door meeting with your kid, they have a lot of power over your kid in that moment, especially when they may or may not be informing you that that intervention has actually happened. There have been cases in school where the school has actually medicated the student without informing the parents of what's going on. That could all be the result of a survey like this. However, I have other concerns that are actually far more important because in this survey, they're going to ask your kids about different things related to you, the parents. They're going to ask your kids about your habits. They're going to ask you, your kids about their home life. And based on the answers in this survey, it would not surprise me at all if the state tried to take your kids away from you. They really could use this to do that. I just want that to sink in for a second. The school administers a survey asking about the home life. Maybe your kid is mad at you and your kid doesn't answer that survey honestly, and then the school uses that information to take your kid away from you. It is not out of the realm of possibility that that could happen. And I really want everyone to be aware of this. This is not just theoretical. That could be the outcome. Yeah. And they're also doing this is blatant data mining. You're absolutely right. And who knows what they're doing with this data? Are they selling this data? Are they giving this data away? How are they protecting this data? There are all sorts of questions that come up when school districts are having kids do surveys that are over 170 questions long. This makes no sense. So, what every parent needs to do is you need to call the school and you need to make sure it is very clear and on the record written somewhere that your child does not take these surveys. They are not going to ask for your permission. They are not going to send home a permission slip. They're not going to go to the PTA and get the PTA to approve the survey. They do these surveys without telling you what is in them and without telling you that they're even occurring in the first place. You need to opt your kids out of these surveys. And not only do you need to opt your kids out with the school, you also need to tell your kids and train your kids that if the school asks you questions like this, you do not answer them. They are not entitled to this information. There is nothing that they can do if you say, no, I will not answer that. Now, Amelia, you need to stop saying things like this immediately. This is what conservatives do. They say, well, you're not going to be allowed to opt out, so you might as well not even try. That is horrible, 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 wrong advice. And you need to stop giving it immediately. I'm not going to tolerate it. Not in my chat. Because it is wrong, it is incorrect, and you are putting these kids and parents who might have the utter misfortune of listening to you, you are putting them at risk with that attitude. They absolutely can be opted out. There is nothing that can require the school that can require you or your kid to answer this information. There is literally nothing. And so anyone that tells you, well, you need to stop. You need to stop. I don't care if you're a former Fairfax County student. You need to stop now. This is unhelpful. Then, Amelia, if you keep whining in my chat, I'm going to block you. Okay? This is wrong. This is incorrect information. And Bot just found the opt-out form. It is absolutely irresponsible of people to say that you cannot opt out of these things and that you're going to be forced to do it. Stop having that attitude. If you have that attitude, well, you're not telling the truth. This is the problem. This is why conservatives lose every single time. They say, I'm just telling the truth. You're such a meanie. Why are you so mean? I'm just telling the truth. You're not telling the truth, Amelia. And do I know how you're not telling the truth? Hang on. One sec. Do you know how I know you're not telling the truth? Because Bot just found the opt-out form. There's the opt-out form. Right here. Opt-out form. Literally says opt-out form. So guys, when you hear really bad advice, like from Amelia, you need to not listen to it. And I'm really going to recommend that everyone stop giving out advice that you are not informed on, because this is actually why I'm getting upset about this right now. I know I'm going to have someone on Twitter anymore be like, Carlin is such a meanie. She's degrading people in her chat. Guess what? When you give out advice like this that is bad and wrong, you are the one putting parents and students in harm's way because you have not taken the time to understand what's going on and you are giving out incorrect information. And I find it personally offensive when I have to do everything I can to get people on the right to do the bare minimum that is required to fight back. And then people come in and said, it's useless. It doesn't work. I don't know why you're even trying. We might not be, I don't even know why we vote. This happens all the time. It is incorrect information. It shouldn't be given out. Amelia, I told you to stop the first time. We are now have information on the screen that proves everything that you said was wrong. If you whine one more time in my chat or try to distract or try to deflect from the fact that you were wrong and we're giving out really bad advice, I'm just going to end up blocking you. You are not helping when you are spreading inaccurate information. And everyone who believed something like that should be personally offended by it. It is wrong. It is inaccurate. It's putting your kids in danger. It is putting your families in danger. There are absolutely ways to opt out of this. And if people are giving out inaccurate information, that is grossly irresponsible. This is why we look at documents on my channel. This is why I don't like the other content creators on Twitter. This is why I worked very hard not to become an outrage junkie about this stuff. There is a lot of really bad information floating around the internet that is easily proven wrong as soon as we see the forms, and you need to understand the system that you are working in if you are going to defeat it. Having a bad defeatist attitude is not going to help anyone, and it is only going to lead to your own demise. So people can whine about my tone all they want, but if I had taken the advice that was given in the chat just now, we might just all pack it up and go home. Nothing to see here. Nothing we can do about it anyway. It's bad advice. It is wrong. It is unhelpful, and it only hurts people. Have I made myself clear? I'm just going to go with yes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. So now that we know that there is an opt-out form, let's actually look at the survey. And what I want to do is I want to just go through, this is the actual survey instrument, and you're going to see this is the survey for 8th, 10th, and 12th grade. I want to talk about some of the questions that are being asked. Let me just make sure I have this as big as I possibly can. Oh, you guys can all see this. Okay, excellent. So what we're seeing here is maybe I can make it, oh, wrong window. Hang on. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So I want to go through this survey for the 8th, 10th, and 12th grade so you can actually see what questions they're asking these students. And again, guys, someone please keep an eye on Adam's channel for me so we know if he's going to do that stream tonight. So the first questions they're asking are general questions. How old are you? What grade are you in? What your gender is? Non-binary is an option. Are you transgender? They're tracking, I'm not sure if I'm transgender. They can use that to stage a psychological intervention if they want to. What best describes you? They're asking about your kid's sexuality. Heterosexual, gay or lesbian, bisexual, not sure. What their race is, who they live with, what language they speak. Have your parents been in the military? Why on earth would they need to know if their parents have been in the military? Why do you think they're asking that? And guys, by the way, just so we're really clear, one of the reasons I'm so offended when incorrect information is given out, like you can't opt out of these surveys when you actually can opt out of these surveys, is every single time that someone runs around saying you can't do this or you can't do that and giving out incorrect information, someone like me then has to go back and unteach the bad information. The bad information that gets around from people with absolutely defeatist attitudes who don't know what they're talking about and haven't properly looked into it, it is monumentally detrimental. Monumentally detrimental because you teach people the wrong thing, they believe it, and then when someone comes along to try to teach them the right thing, it is a fight to get them to unlearn the wrong thing. And so if I seem like I'm a little aggressive about this, it is because I cannot tell you how many years of my life have been wasted just on getting people to unlearn the incorrect thing that they were taught. It is absolutely maddening. It is unnecessary. And it is just like really, really offensive to me. It is a colossal waste of everyone's time and energy. Anyway, back to this. Your experiences at school. What were your grades like? During the last 4 weeks, how many days have you missed or cut? Have you skipped or cut? Do you think it's okay to cheat in school? How much do you agree or disagree with the following? I can do well in school if I want to. Do you agree that harassment and bullying by other students is a problem? My teacher notices when I'm doing a good job. I feel safe at school. What does that even mean? There are lots of chances for students at my school to talk with the teacher one on one. Why? I mean, I'm not sure why they want lots of opportunities for that, but okay. The school app lets my parents know when I've done something well. How are you spending your time after school? Why does the state need to know how kids are spending their time after school? Again, why do they need to know that? Thank you, Pilgrim Progressing for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Let me just look over in the other screen. I can actually see what it is. Oh, it's a little cute dog. It's a cute dog. And Brian, I think I answered your super chat as well. Can you send me the email you got? Yes. Any information that you guys have can be sent to activelyunwoke@gmail.com. And that'll come right to me. So they're asking if kids are watching TV, playing video games, on a sports team. How many times have you participated in clubs and activities on an average day? How much time do you spend on these things? How often do you attend religious services? Why does the state need to know this? These questions might seem innocuous. You might think, like, this is no big deal. But ask yourself, why does the government need to know this information? Then it starts to look a lot more creepy, doesn't it? And we're not even into the really wacky questions yet. I ignore rules that get in my way. They're trying to identify the students who are rebels. They're trying to, with questions like this, they're trying to identify students that are going to rebel against the system. I ignore rules that get in my way. There are a lot of adults in my neighborhood I could talk to about something important. The neighbors notice when I'm doing a good job and let me know about it. Why does the state need to know that? Accepting responsibility for my actions when I make a mistake or get into trouble. Doing my best even when I have a job I don't like. Do you agree or disagree with the following? When things don't go well for me, I am good at finding a way to make things better. I feel as if I can solve most problems in my life. There is not a teenager in the world that can solve most of the problems in their life. So why are they being asked that on a school survey? I have much in life to be thankful for. How much do you do the following when you have a problem of any kind? I try to find different solutions to the problem. Now we're getting into the good ones. Thank you, Brian. How wrong do your parents feel it would be for you to? So they're trying to assess, what are the parents allowing the kids to get away with in the house? This section can be used against parents to take kids out of their home. Mark my words. Would your parents feel it was wrong for you to drink beer, wine, or hard liquor like vodka, whiskey, gin regularly? Do your parents feel it would be wrong for you to smoke cigarettes, to smoke weed, to vape? How many times have you changed homes since kindergarten? During the past 30 days, did you go hungry because there was not enough food in your home? And then, yes or no, I feel safe in my neighborhood. When I'm not alone, one of my parents knows where I am and whom I'm with. My family has clear rules about alcohol and drug use. People in my family often insult or yell at each other. My parents have had their body hurt from their actions, such as they literally ask. They literally ask, "Is daddy beating mommy?" Okay, maybe not literally, but that is what they're asking. My parent has had their body hurt from actions such as punching, kicking, choking, shoving, and pulling of hair by a partner or spouse. Now, imagine, if you will, that a child is pissed off at daddy because daddy wouldn't buy them the car they wanted. And because the child, who has not yet developed the logic reason function of their brain, is pissed off at daddy because daddy won't buy them the Mercedes that they were really hoping for, the child gets a survey like this and answers, "Yeah, I have seen this happen." And they're not doing it because it's real. They're doing it because it's revenge against daddy for not buying them the car they wanted. And don't tell me that wouldn't happen. That would absolutely happen. And then the state can use this to take that kid out of the home. If I had a personal problem, I could ask mom or dad for help. My parents ask me what I think before most family decisions affecting me are made. Why is the state asking if parents are asking permission from their kids to make a decision? Kids don't always get to have input into decisions, guys. That's just the way it goes. In this next section, we talk about things you might have done or that have happened to you, about bullying. During the past 12 months, have you ever bullied someone on school property? Have you ever bullied someone away from school property? Why would a kid answer? I mean, a kid would answer yes to that because kids are dumb, but why is the state asking for that? During the past 12 months, have you ever been bullied on school property, away from school property? Do you carry a weapon such as a gun, knife, or club? Do you carry a weapon such as a gun, knife, or club on school property? I mean, I'm sorry, what? Nick says this survey also gives kids power over their parents. It absolutely does, Nick. It absolutely does. During the past 12 months, on how many days did you carry a gun? Do not count days when you carried a gun only for hunting or a sport, such as target shooting. Huh, interesting. In the past year, have you said something bad about someone's race or culture, been suspended from school? They're literally asking kids if they've been racist. They're trying to get kids to incriminate themselves so they can use it against them later when they stage a psychological intervention. How many times in the past year has anyone done any of the following to you, said something bad about your race or culture, or sexually harassed you? How many times in the past year has a parent or adult in your household bullied, taunted, ridiculed, or teased you? How often did a parent or adult in your home ever hit, beat, kick, physically, or hurt you in any way? Do not include spanking. Hmm. Have you ever been physically forced to have sexual intercourse when you did not want to? During the past 30 days, how many times have you driven a car other vehicle when you have been drinking alcohol? They're asking this of 8th, 10th, and 12th graders. Carlin, I might have missed it, but is this a questionnaire asked before you enter the school year or once you're in it? This questionnaire was literally distributed the other day in some schools in Fairfax County. And I think it was distributed a couple weeks ago in other schools in Fairfax County. So this is students in the school right now. They're getting this in the school. Amelia, you are now going to get put in a timeout because you are continuing to whine in my chat after I have asked you to stop. If you continue to whine after I have repeatedly asked you to stop, you will be blocked. There is no more whining from you, Amelia. I fucking had it. During the past 30 days, on how many days did you text or email while driving a car or vehicle? During the past 30 days, have you ever nodded off or fallen asleep, even just for a brief moment while driving? Yeah, we're going to have another I'm not whining moment today. I can already feel this building up. Have you ever belonged to a gang? How old were you when you first belonged to a gang? Have you ever had a partner in a dating or serious relationship who always wanted to know your whereabouts, called you names or put you down verbally, pressured you into having sex, going all the way when you didn't want to? Why does the state need to know this information? The school is trying to replace parents. This is what is going on. Schools are trying to replace parents. The only reason that schools would need to know this information is if they're trying to replace the role of parents. Why are they trying to replace the role of parents? During the past 12 months, how many times did someone you were dating or going out with physically hurt you on purpose? Count such things as being hit, slammed into something, or injured with an object or weapon. Force you to do sexual things you did not want to do. Count such things as kissing, touching, or being physically forced to have sexual intercourse. This is a psych evaluation. That's what this is. That's why I keep saying they're using it to stage psychological interventions with your kids. These are not anonymous surveys. They're being used to stage psychological interventions. During the past 12 months, have you ever been electronically bullied, such as texting, Instagram, Facebook, or other social media? How many times in the past year have you been cyberbullied by a student who attends your school? How many times in the past year have you cyberbullied a student attending your school? I have the right to say anything I want online, even if what I say hurts or violates someone's privacy. Agree or disagree? During the past 12 months, did you ever feel so sad or hopeless almost every day for 2 weeks or more in a row that you stopped doing your usual activities? Have you ever seriously contemplated offing oneself? There is no reason a public school needs access to this information. During the past 12 months, how many times have you actually attempted that? Stress means a situation in which a person feels tense, restless, nervous, or anxious, or is unable to sleep at night because their mind is troubled all of the time. Within the last 30 days, how often have you felt this kind of stress? Do you think How much do you think people risk harming themselves physically or in other ways if they smoke weed, try weed or smoke weed regularly, take one or two drinks of an alcoholic beverage? Why does the school need to know the student's perception of how harmful it is to smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, or drink? These are not anonymous surveys. I'm telling you right now, these are not anonymous surveys. How frequently have you used smokeless tobacco in the past 30 days? Have you ever smoked a cigarette in your lifetime? How often have you smoked cigarettes during the past 30 days? On how many occasions, if any, have you smoked tobacco using a hookah in the past 30 days? To vape is to use a device such as a vape pen, an e-cigarette, an e-hookah, or an e-vaporizer to inhale a mist or vapor into your lungs. Have you ever vaped? I actually took the Scientology test one day on a stream. It was a long time ago. Um, this is not different. Well, no, the Scientology test is a little bit different than that. It is. It's a lot different than that, actually. Um, on how many occasions have you vaped nicotine in the past 30 days, vaped weed in the past 30 days, vaped flavoring without any nicotine or weed in the past 30 days? During the past 30 days, on how many days, if any, have you taken synthetic marijuana, K2, or spice to get high? On how many occasions have you had beer, wine, or hard liquor in your lifetime more than just a few sips? Had beer, wine, or hard liquor during the past 30 days? Here's my question, Kazmar. Do they consider this to be a non educational survey? Would they consider this to be a non educational survey? And I know you're on the school board at your school. And so you like this, you're also in a completely different state than this is being administered. So they might, there might be different rules. Hmm. On how many occasions have you used weed in your lifetime, used weed during the past 30 days, sniffed glue, breathed the contents of an aerosol spray can, or inhaled other glasses or gases or sprays in order to get high, sniffed glue, etc., in the past 30 days, used, I don't even know what this is, in the past 30 days? How many times have you, these are 8th, 10th, and 12th graders. How many times have you used LSD or other hallucinogens, acid, angel dust, special K, or shrooms in the past 30 days? Used cocaine or crack, used meth, taken steroids without a doctor's orders, used heroin, taken painkillers, taken a prescription drug other than painkillers such as Ritalin, Adderall, or Xanax, used ecstasy, or used over the counter drugs to get high? You're 13 years old when you're in the 8th grade, just as a reminder. How old were you when you first smoked a cigarette, even just a puff? Had more than a sip or two of beer, wine, or hard liquor? Begin drinking alcoholic beverages regularly, that is, at least once or twice a month. Smoked weed. How easy would it be for you to get beer, wine, or hard liquor, cigarettes, drugs like cocaine, LSD, and weed? How easy for would it be for you to get these things? Why does the state need to know that? Why do they need to know that? How wrong do you think it is for someone your age to drink beer, wine, or hard liquor, smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, use LSD, cocaine, and etc., etc., etc.? How wrong would most adults in your neighborhood, they're asking children to evaluate the attitudes of adults in their neighborhood or other areas around where you live, think it is for kids your age to use weed? Why are the schools asking the kids to evaluate the attitudes of adults that live around them? What possible use could they have for this information? And why on earth do they think a 13-year-old is going to be able to accurately assess that information? All of this is going into a massive database somewhere. All of it. And it will be used against them. What were the reasons you took a prescription pain reliever without a doctor's orders last time? And they've got a whole bunch of reasons here, including to feel good or get high, to help with my sleep, because I'm hooked on it. How did you get the prescription pain reliever? I stole it. I have prescriptions. I stole it. I got it from a friend or family. I got it from a friend or relative. I took it from a friend or relative without asking. I bought it from a drug dealer or stranger. I bought it on the internet. Now we get into more sex questions. Have you ever had sexual intercourse? How old were you when you had sexual intercourse the first time? During your lifetime, how many people have you had sexual intercourse with? Why does the state need to know that? During the past 3 months, with how many people have you had sexual intercourse? Did you drink alcohol or use drugs before you had sexual intercourse the last time? The last time you had sexual intercourse, did you or your partner use a condom? The last time you had sexual intercourse, what one method did you or your partner use to prevent pregnancy? No method, birth control, condoms, IUD, shot, withdrawal, not sure. Have you ever had oral sex? Yes or no? Why does the state need to know this? Why do they need to know this? During the past 7 days, how many times did you drink 100% fruit juices such as orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, do not count Kool-Aid, etc.? How many times did you eat fruit? How many times did you eat a vegetable? Why is the state asking students to report on their diet? Particularly given the crap that they feed them in schools. Did you drink a can, bottle, or glass of soda or pop? A can, bottle, or glass of sugar sweetened beverage, such as a Snapple? Did you drink a can, bottle, or glass of an energy drink like a Red Bull? A can, bottle, or glass of a sports drink like a Gatorade? This is 8th, 10th, and 12th grade. During the past 30 days, did you go without eating for 24 hours or more, also called fasting, to lose weight or to keep from gaining weight? Take any diet pills, powders, or liquids without a doctor's advice to lose weight or keep from gaining weight? Vomit or take laxatives to lose weight or to keep from gaining weight? You're going to tell me they're not using this to stage psychological interventions? Of course they are. Of course they are. During the past 7 days, on how many days were you physically active for a total of at least 60 minutes per day? On an average school night, how many hours of sleep do you get? People who know me would say, giving up when things get hard for me is not like me at all or a lot like me. They're asking the kids about their perceptions of themselves. This is not just a survey that measures if kids are engaging in risky behavior. This is a survey that is designed to get in the heads of kids. To say, how do you perceive yourself? These are the types of things that a psychologist would ask, guys. 6811 in Oregon. I just dropped it in the Discord. Thank you. I appreciate that. How can they if there's no name on it? Because they track them through the account they're logged in with when they take it or from the identifier that goes with their email address. These things are very easy to track without the people knowing that they're being tracked. This happens every day on the internet. They don't have to put their name on it. People who know me would say knowing how to say no when someone wants me to do things I know are wrong or dangerous is not like me at all or very much like me. Or thinking through the possible good and bad results of a choices before I make a decision is not like me at all or very much like me. Yes, it was an online thing. This was all online. And I know it's online because I literally have pictures of from the kids who were taking this survey. I have pictures of them doing it on a computer. How much do you agree or disagree with the following statements? I get along well with students who are different than me. I know how to disagree without starting a fight or argument. They're using this to see how complacent people are and how moldable they are and how much they are going to be inclined to go along with what the group wants them to do. The next questions ask about your civic engagement. During the last 12 months, how many times have you been a leader? Help to make sure that all people were treated fairly. They're literally asking them what social justice things are doing. Stood up for what you believed, even when it was unpopular to do so. They're trying to identify who the social justice warriors are. They're trying to identify who the true believers are. Why does the state, because public schools are the state, why do they need to know this information? How many times in the last year has another student sexually harassed you? Have you sexually harassed another student? They're actually asking these kids if they've sexually harassed other students. Were you aware of sexual rumors being spread at school or a school-sponsored activity, either verbally or through electronic means such as texting or social media? If I have observed I was the victim of sexual discrimination, including sexual harassment or sexual violence, I would want to know to report. I would know who to report that information to. I would feel comfortable reporting sexual discrimination or sexual harassment or assault to school, faculty, or staff. If you would not feel comfortable reporting an act of sexual discrimination or sexual harassment, please indicate why. I do not know a trusted adult to tell. What they're really asking with this question is not actually about would they feel comfortable reporting sexual discrimination or sexual harassment. What they're really asking in this is, do you have trusted adults in the school system that you feel safe talking to? That's what they're really asking. Because remember, the teachers are trying to replace the parents. The teachers can't replace the parents if the students don't feel like they have trusted adults in the school to talk to. That's what they're really asking with that question, guys. My school takes complaints of sexual discrimination and harassment seriously. During the past year, I've witnessed sexual discrimination or sexual harassment. During the past year, I reported an act of sexual discrimination or harassment to school personnel. Yeah, the teachers, my kids. We're almost done. Don't worry, we're almost done the survey. How strongly do you agree or disagree with the following statements? Teachers and other adults at this school care about students, want students to do well, listen to what students have to say, treat students with respect. And the last question is possibly the most insidious. How honest were you in filling out this survey? If kids lie in this survey and then the school uses it to stage a psychological intervention, but the kids said, I was very honest at the end of the survey, there ain't nothing that kid's going to be able to do in that psychological intervention to say, I wasn't telling the truth, I was exaggerating. Because then the teacher's going to say, then why did you answer that you were honest? Is that what you define as honesty? Are you lying to me now? They're going to use it against the students. So, that is the survey for 8th, 10th, and 12th graders in the Fairfax County schools. Does anyone have thoughts about this survey in the chat that they would like to share? How would you feel with your kids taking this survey? Would you would you be okay with your kids giving this information to the government? I think it's a little fishy myself. And we're going to go through the one for 6th grade. 6th grade. That's 11 years old. We're going to go through that one next. But I just want to get your thoughts. Reagan says, I'm pretty livid. Yeah. It would never happen. Yeah, exactly. This is what they're going to say. This is what they're going to say with that last question. You've lied, so you might be lying right now. And of course, they're dealing with kids who are idiots. No offense. I'm sure your kids are all beautiful snowflakes, but they don't have the logic function of their brain yet. Brian, we are opting out. Yes, that is the right decision. Chris B says horrific. Lakita says, I really don't want my kids giving any of their information to the government. I think that is the right move. Kazmar says, if your child is old enough, tell them not to take these surveys, no matter who is giving it. You guys all need to train your kids. Do not take these surveys. Tell the teacher no. Tell the principal no. Do not take these surveys. No matter what, do not take these surveys. ZXY says this is the state's prophylactic blackmail ammo. If the family is found guilty of wrongthink, the state can whip out this survey. Mark my words. There are going to be instances where the state takes kids away from their families because of the answers to anonymous surveys like this. Batty Girl says, nope, this is set up for social credit, healthcare rating, and psychological war against the family. This is horrifying. John Morgan said he had to take one of these surveys around 2013. Oh, that's great, John. Shadowax says this survey is clearly designed to advantage of their emotional immaturity to take advantage of it. Yep. This is intrusive. This is none of the state's business. No, it's not. Yep. Seems like you guys are all as disturbed as I am, so that's really good. Let me just check in real quick. I'm going to check in with our friend Adam. I just want to see, does he have the video up yet? Oh, he doesn't have it posted yet. Okay, guys, remember, I need someone to keep an eye on Adam Kriegler's channel because if Adam is going live with his tell-all stream today, we're going to go and have a tell-all stream watch party. But if he doesn't, we're going to keep doing this. Yes, I am well aware of Yuri Brezmenov. Everyone needs to watch Yuri Brezmenov. Seriously. Kazmar says they will absolutely use it against you no matter if your kid is telling the truth or not. Carlin is absolutely correct in what she was stating. Yes. Parents have to be the protectors of their kids' information. You have to stand up for to the schools. They do not need this information to teach your kids how to read, write, and do math, folks. They really don't. You have got to tell them no. And you have got to train your kids to know what to look for so that they don't answer these types of questions. All right. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. All right. Since we've got a little bit of time, let's look at the sixth grade survey. I haven't looked at this yet. So it's my understanding that the sixth grade survey is it's an abbreviated or an edited version of what we just looked at. But I'm interested to see what they're asking 11-year-olds. Let's see. How old are you? Race, all the same stuff we saw before. If your parents are in the military, what were your grades like? Do you feel safe at school? During the past 12 months, did you ever feel so sad or hopeless almost every day for 2 weeks in a row? So they're asking sixth graders if they're getting depressed. They're asking sixth graders if they have burnout. They're same psychological evaluations. These are psychological evaluations, guys. I ignore rules that get in my way. This is to identify who rebels are. There are a lot of adults in my neighborhood I could talk to about something important. My neighbors notice when I'm doing a good job and let me know. 11 years old. During the past 30 days, did you ever carry a gun, a knife, or a club? Did you ever carry a gun, knife, or club on school property? How important is each of this in your life? Accepting responsibility for my actions when I make a mistake or get in trouble. Doing the best even when I have a job I don't like. Do you agree or disagree? When things don't go well for me, I am good at finding a way to make things better. I feel as if I can solve most problems in my life. I have much to be in my life to be thankful for. How much do you do the following when you have a problem of any kind? I try to find a different solution to the problem. All right. How many times have you participated in school or non-school based activities after the regular school day? Volunteered to do community service? How many hours outside of school do you spend doing homework, going to work? Why are they asking sixth graders if they're going to work? Do they think they're working in the mines? 11-year-olds. This survey is for 11-year-olds. Do you stay after school to participate in a team or club? Participating in a team or club somewhere else from school? On your average school day, how many hours do you watch TV or play computer or video games? School doesn't need to know that. During the last 7 days, how many times were you physically active for 60 minutes a day? Have you ever bullied someone on school property? Have you ever bullied someone away from school property? Have you ever been bullied on or away from school property? They're asking 11-year-olds how many times they've been racist. They're asking less questions. This is not a cut and paste. They're just asking less questions. I just want to see which ones they're asking. How many times has anyone said anything bad to you about your race or culture? Oh, good. How often did a parent or adult in your home ever hit, beat, kick, or physically hurt you in any way? Have you been cyberbullied? Do you agree or disagree that bullying and harassment is a problem? 11 years old. How much do you think people risk harming themselves by smoking cigarettes, weed, or drinking alcohol? They're asking about that. They're asking if they're vaping. These are some of the same questions as the other survey. They're asking the sixth graders how often they've sniffed glue. They're asking them many of the same drug questions. Not all of them, but many of the same ones. How easy would it be for you to get beer, wine, or hard liquor or cigarettes? You guys understand, right? That they don't actually care if the sixth graders who are taking this survey have access to beer, wine, and hard liquor or cigarettes. They're only caring about the environment that that child is being in so they can use it against the parents later. They're asking about their diet habits. Are they drinking soda, Snapple, energy drinks, sports drinks, things like that? Yeah, and Julie says, would 11-year-olds even know that people sniff glue if they didn't know before now? This survey might actually be planting ideas in their heads. I mean, it's entirely possible. Like, do people even talk about sniffing glue anymore? That was like an 80s thing. Oh, my parents ask me what I think before most family decisions are made affecting me. Why is the school insinuating that parents should be asking 11-year-olds about their opinions before parents make a decision? If I had a personal problem, I could ask mom or dad for help. People in my family often insult or yell at each other. During the past 30 days, did you eat well? During the past 12 months, how many times have you been a leader in a group or organization? Help make sure that all people are treated fairly. People who know me would say they're doing more psychological evaluation. And then how honest were you in filling out the survey? Okay. So we want to acknowledge when there's redeeming value, and we want to acknowledge that they took the sex questions out. They did. They didn't ask them about sex. So I think that that is, an improvement. But don't let it fool you guys. Just because they took the sex questions out, this is still a psychological evaluation. Even though they aren't asking some of those questions, this is still an evaluation that they can use to stage psychological interventions with your kids. Did they ask them if they were trans? I think I kind of glossed by this. They did. Well, no, okay, they took the trans question out. They asked them if they were non-binary, but they took out in this one they have a question about being transgendered that they did not have in the 6th grade one, but they're still asking them if they're non-binary. Are they even gonna know what that is? So I'm still not comfortable with this being done either, if I'm quite honest about it. Oh, you found the results? How did you find the results, bot? I thought these were anonymous surveys. Link me to the results. And by the way, like I said, I know the middle school results. Oh, excellent. See, this is why Bot is our chief investigative officer. I'm not sure that's from this year's survey. This is from okay, so what Bot found, let me show you. This is from an old survey. So we always need to check for dates for things when we're looking up this type of information. We need to make sure we know what the dates are and what they actually correlate to. And you know how I know what this is it says here, the Fairfax County Youth Survey was administered in the fall of 2019. So this is old data. Self-reported by 8th grade students in the Fairfax County Youth Survey. What are they labeling this? Fairfax County 6th grade survey. Okay, so it's probably the same thing. Yep. They are definitely incriminating kids so they can get their juvenile correction facilities filled and money-making agendas filled. I don't know that they're throwing anyone in juvie over this stuff, but, like, come on, man. There is no reason that schools need to know this information. None at all. All right. So, we've gone over the surveys. We are waiting to see if Adam is going to do his tell-all stream. Has anyone checked in on Adam's Twitter? He blocked me. So I can't. Can someone check in on is Adam posted anything on his Twitter? The reason I'm asking is I need to know if I need to set up a stream. Oh god. Oh god, hang on. I got to show you guys this. Sorry, drama break. Drama break everyone. We might be coming back, we might not. Drama break. We've just gone through some hard stuff. But I just want to show. Hang on. I don't want him to know what my sock account screen name is. Look what Adam fucking retweeted. What Tim Pool tweeted, one harsh lesson of success is finding out how many people are your friends and how many people are truly evil. At least it makes it easy to figure out who to avoid. And apparently Adam retweeted it and said, "Stop tagging me in this." I really want to see Adam tell his story. Well, it's 6:20 now, so I'm not sure why we would wait 15 more minutes to find out. Oh man, I really need to set up this stream. God. Here's what I want to do. We've gone through some hard material today. We've gone through the survey questions for the Fairfax County schools. My voice is already getting a little scratchy because I have a cold. I'm coming down with a cold and I'm very congested. It's just the way it goes. I think I want to stop the stream here for today's investigation into the Fairfax County schools. And I would like to pick up next time. And next time, what we're going to do is we're going to start rummaging through the Fairfax County Schools website. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow. Maybe I'll do this like for like a Thanksgiving kind of like fun time. Maybe we'll do it next week, but don't like I'm not letting this one go. I really do think Fairfax County schools are doing a lot of shenanigans based purely on the preliminary searches look at this. Look at this. Fairfax County establishes Student Equity Ambassador Leaders Program. This was 2 years ago. This is basically this is the fucking red fucking youth army from Mao's China, and they're doing it in the schools already. So we can already see that there's going to be a lot to go over with the Fairfax County schools. I want to make sure I want to do a little bit of preliminary work. Oh, look at this. Fairfax County Schools School Board Work Session, Anti-Bias and Anti-Racism Education Policy Development. Oh, that's something that we're going to want to watch. I would recommend any parents in the Fairfax County schools, if you have not gone onto their YouTube channel and just search for the term. Let's just do anti-racism. You can do equity. That's how we got here. Anti-racism. 2020 Mental Health and Wellness Conference talking to kids about race and racism. Maybe we'll watch that for happy hour. Let me pull that up. They've got all these school board meetings about anti-racism. I know that parents in Fairfax County are doing a lot of activism. So some of this stuff might not be like a secret, but you've got to go through their stuff. There's anti-racism in every single one of these school board meetings. Like this one was a month ago. What was going on here? Why does this come up for anti-racism? Oh, look, they very nicely have chapters for us. The Fairfax County Schools have a resolution for support of teachers and administrators regarding inclusive curriculum and instruction. That's anti-racism. Anti-racism point of fucking order. What is that? Hang on. We've got a couple minutes. What is that? Carlin was right. Payments on the... yes, everyone owes me $2. I said as soon as Biden's student loan program got shot down, I said it to my locals. My locals can attest to this. As soon as it got shot down, I was like, watch, the student loan program's going to be paused again. And guess what? They're pausing the student loan program again. So everyone owes me $2. I just want to see this, though. Not this. I just want to watch this part real quick. What the fuck is an anti-racism point of order?
Anti-racism.
I'm sorry, point of order. Could the speaker please state their name?
I'm speaking for Marissa. I have her power
Thank
of
you.
attorney right here. She had an emergency.
Speaker substitutions are not allowed, ma'am.
I have a power of
Speaker
attorney to
substitutions
speak
are not
for her.
Speaker substitutions are allowed per our rules.
She had
Speaker
a family
substitutions-
emergency and had to
Speaker
leave town.
substitutions.
Are you really going to stop me? because
Speaker
you don't want to
substitutions
hear
are
it?
Point of
not
order,
allowed
Madam
per
Chair.
our rules.
Point of order. I'd like to consult our parliamentarian, given that she's an attorney.
I have a power of
representing her.
attorney here. She had an emergency. Her father had surgery, and she asked me to speak for her.
No, it's up to the board whether to allow an exception to their rule. If they don't want to allow substitutions, then they do not have to.
Our current governance manual does not allow speaker substitutions.
Madam Chair, may I ask, he said it's up to the board. I believe she's almost finished speaking.
I hadn't finished. If the board would,
I'm sorry.
Why
You
is this
can
an
ask-
anti-racism
you can
point of
ask
order?
the board to vote on whether to allow her to continue speaking. But it would be, the board's decision would be final on the matter.
would we like to take a vote? Are we voting to, well, Mr. Parliament, are we voting to suspend the rules? Because right now that is our rule.
Yeah, I would say that it would be a suspension of the rules. A 2/3 vote would be required. No debate.
So I will ask if we'd like to take a vote to suspend the rules. Hang on 1 second.
All right.
To suspend the rules, to allow the speaker to finish speaking. However, we will be setting a precedent.
All right. They're just basically doing school board bullshit. I don't know how that's related to anti-racism at all, but maybe we'll go back and watch that. But I just want to show you guys what Bot just sent me. The cult's chief investigative officer. Check this out. Look what's on the Fairfax County Schools homepage. LGBTQIA plus student resources and support. How much you want to bet they have a GSA? And listen, I don't care if people are gay. I don't care if people are lesbians. I don't care if people are non-binary. I don't care if people are trans. That's not the point. Many FSP middle and high schools have LGBTQIA plus safe spaces and gender and sexuality alliance clubs. The gender and sexuality alliance clubs are where you want to be looking if you're worried about gender ideology in school. Regulation 2603, gender expansive and transgender students. What's this? Oh. Huh. That's fascinating. Okay, we'll have to look that up separately. Anyway, there's a lot going on there. But guys, I do want to, I think, conclude the stream for today. I'm still waiting to see if Adam has posted this fucking stream. I want to see what he's talking about. We're going to anticipate that Adam could be going live to do his tell-all story at any moment. So what I want to do is I want to end the stream for today with the Fairfax County School investigation. We will be picking this up. Don't worry. Either, I don't know if we're going to do it tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving. Friday, I've got something else, but we might be picking it up on Monday, or I might even do a stream this weekend, honestly, doing it because this is going to take a while to work through. I think there's going to be a lot of there. What I'm going to do is a little pre-investigation. So I'm going to try to do some work to like bring up some documents and stuff for us to look at so that you don't see me starting from square zero. If you want to see my other school investigation streams, there is a whole playlist on the channel. Bot, you keep sending stuff in. Thank you, Bot. Bot just found that document that wasn't coming up. All right, guys, we're going to end the stream for right now. I'm going to start a new stream, and hopefully we will have an Adam Krigler watch party. And if we don't, if it's all a bust, then that's what it is. But guys, I will be going live in just a couple moments on a second stream on this channel. Take care, guys, and we will see you very, very shortly in the other stream. Thank you for joining me today, and mount that